All right, so let's talk about why healthcare is so expensive. And it really can't be pinned on any one specific thing. If you're going to pin it on one thing, it would be a very general thing, and that is that the entire industry is built upon a foundation of very bad economic principles. It makes it so that you, as the consumer of healthcare, can't see the price before you make the decisions on what services that you want. And that is different from most of the other industries that you as a consumer would participate in, like let's think about the grocery store or the hardware store. Wide variety of products with the prices listed right there. And you can make decisions not just based on what you need, the variety, or the quality, but also on the cost. And that plays a role in your decision. And the collective decisions by you and all the other consumers out there help incentivize the industry to come up with more variety, to come up with better quality, and to decrease the cost because they're all competing with each other for your dollars. Those are what are called sound economic principles, and those are nowhere to be found in the healthcare industrial complex. So, got a book recommendation for you. This is called The Price We Pay by Dr. Marty Makary. It is fantastic. It might raise your blood pressure a little bit when you read what's going on in the healthcare industry, but still highly recommended. Most of the stories that I'm going to be chatting with you all about the healthcare industrial complex come right from this book. So once again, highly recommended. And it does a fantastic job of illustrating the core problems. And one of the primary core problems that he goes into is right at the beginning of the book, and it's called the game, or the markup discount game. And that is that the price tag for these healthcare services is not tied in any way to the actual value of the services that are provided. So that means that the actual consumers of healthcare, that's you as the patient, can't see the price for these services before you choose to undergo these services. They just throw numbers out there. Like they just inflate the price massively, and then they play this game with the insurance companies, the third-party payers, to give them discounts, and they negotiate different discounts with different payers, and all of those negotiations are hidden from you as the consumer as well. I mean, it's all about like who's in your network, and kind of like I'll scratch your back if you scratch my back on these situations. It would remind you a lot of a good old boys club where they're all looking out for each other's interests and not necessarily yours. So that is what the problem is, and it has just gotten, over the course of all these decades, bigger, more bloated, and more cumbersome as time has gone on. So there's a perfect example of this markup discount game in Dr. Makary's book. So I'm going to tell you about that. So he knew a dude from France that was over in the States for some reason, and while he was here, he had a non-STEMI, which is like a less deadly version of a heart attack. So he gets through that just fine, but then he's recommended to undergo a coronary artery bypass surgery. So they told him he needed the surgery, said it was going to be $150,000 for the surgery. So the guy calls back home to his local hospital in France to find out what the surgery would be there. And they said it was going to be about $15,000. So the guy goes, well, $150,000, $15,000, carry the two. Maybe I'll just go home back to France and have this done for 90% less than the price I was quoted here in the States. So hospital, gets wind of the fact that he's getting ready to go back to France for the surgery, send a representative down to talk to him, and they say, okay, look, we're going to do this surgery for you for $50,000. Just slashes $100,000 off the price just like that. So the French dude is like, this is starting to look a little shady. So he is still planning to go back to France for the surgery, and as he's getting ready to leave the hospital rep comes back one more time to try and close this deal, says, okay. $25,000 for the surgery. Guy still didn't do it, went back to France for the surgery, but that is the kind of thing that we're talking about. So after hearing about this story, Dr. Makary got curious. So he sent a survey out to a bunch of hospitals across the country, over 100, and about half of them came back with their response, letting him know what they charge for that same procedure. And there was a massive range in the price. Went all the way from $44,000 to $448,000. No difference in quality, no difference in outcomes, exact same procedure, a difference of over $400,000. So, this is a perfect example to show you what a joke this whole markup discount process is. That's how you know that they are just playing with monopoly money. And remember a couple videos ago when I said that healthcare costs are the #1 cause of bankruptcy in this country? This is why.